Hello, everyone. Super excited to be doing this interview feature with Roxanne Carne. So my name is Sam. I'm the founder and CEO of Ally Shoes. For those of you who didn't know us, we make the most comfortable high heels for all women, featuring inclusive sizing from size 4 through 12 and 4 different widths. And I guess Roxanne and we got connected. I can't even remember.
I mean,
Pre-COVID?
it was definitely pre-COVID. I want to say it's like four-ish years ago.
Something like that. Yeah, I think one of our team members met you through a personal stylist online convention of some sort, and she was so impressed by you. And
Thank
I
you.
still remember she came to talk to me and said, "Oh my God, we got to work with her. She's amazing." And yeah, I think that's how we
it
got
all
connected.
started. It was very organic.
Yes.
All right. I don't know about you, Sam, but I find in most relationships, whether professional or personal, the best ones are the ones that just kind of like naturally just came about.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And so maybe if you want to just do a quick intro of your background and your business right now.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Sam, for having this interview with me. I really enjoy our partnership and would love to share a little bit more about myself. So my name is Roxanne Carne. I'm a personal wardrobe stylist. I am physically based in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area, but I have clients pretty much all over the country. And really what I do is I transform women's wardrobes and transform their lives. And basically what that means is that I take their wardrobes from a space that often starts out as, being contentious or a source of pain, confusion, frustration, and move it to an area where, gosh, everything that you have, you absolutely love. Everything that you have makes sense. Everything that you have serves a function. It truly serves you. And when you are able to achieve that in your wardrobe, so much comes of that personally, professionally. And it really just kind of unleashes that woman for wherever she is in her life so that she can concentrate her time and energy on the things that she wants the most. So I'm in the business of, again, transforming that wardrobe and transforming that mindset, that framework, and that woman's life.
I love that. And I think, so much of it when we think about clothing, shoes, personal styling, if we just leave it on the surface level, it feels like, oh, we are just going to dress up, so to speak. But if you talk to any women who aspire to, her own dreams, I think so much of our style is an extension of our personal expression, ambition. And, to your point, when your wardrobe is working for you, it just fills so much more purpose into your life.
Gosh, it just, at the end of the day, it just feels good. You can go forth and be that genuine, authentic version of yourself every single day. And that's basically what I try to do for every single of my clients.
That's awesome. Also, let's maybe go back a little bit and tell us how you got into personal styling in the first place.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting story, Sam. So I always tell everyone the version of Roxanne that you see right now is Roxanne 2.0. Roxanne 1.0 was in the corporate world for, gosh, the better part of 15 years. And my background was in human resources, specifically talent acquisition or recruiting. And the work that I did in that space really gave me just fantastic exposure to a lot of women in leadership, because human resources then and now was, it's an industry that's mainly dominated by women. And in really just working with these different women at different leadership levels and watching and actively participating in the career growth of existing talent or maybe talent from another organization, it really put me in a very, very unique position where I got to gently influence my candidates in their presentation, not only by arming them with information about the organization, but image, because what I was seeing, Sam, was that there were so many women that honestly, their look did not align with who they were,
yeah.
what they had to offer, the position that they held. And these were smart women, you know. But what I found was that really a lot of them kind of got lost along the way. They were so concentrated on their career, they were so concentrated on their families that they're giving all the time to other people, but they just kind of put themselves further away, right?
Yeah.
Further down on the totem pole, and was just kind of like just navigating, like treading water, but not really bringing it back to themselves. So when I saw that that was something that was missing, and I'll say this, you know, and it's so great to be in New York here with Sam. I'm back in my hometown. You know, I was born and raised here in New York City, and I, you know, grew up just with fashion all around. So I always loved fashion and kept a close pulse on what was going on with trends and designers and retailers, all of that. And I was in a unique position where I was always like helping styling other people, our friends,
Yeah.
family members. I was always the go-to.
Just organically.
Just organically, right?
Totally, yeah.
And you know, people complimenting me on my style and where did you get that, and come shopping with me, things like that. So when I, you know, was weaving it into back into the corporate side of things, when I was seeing that this gap existed, that's when the light bulb went off for me. And it was 8 years prior to me starting my business, but that's when I really realized, wow, women need help. And a lot of them are not even aware. So that's why I decided, you know what, I would love to be able to help women like this on a broader scale, and help them realize their worth through their wardrobe.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I'm so glad you did that pivot, because just knowing your work and some of your clients and seeing their transformation, I think you're doing a lot of good to professional women.
Thank you. That means a lot, Sam. And a lot of my clients shop, you know, from Ally Shoes now, because I introduced Ally Shoes to pretty much everyone that I work with. So it's a really
amazing.
lovely relationship that you know the ladies that I work with. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it makes so much sense that you're mentioning, you know, this transition from human resources and kind of talent acquisition. So I did an undergrad business program, and I remember there was so much kind of, you know, job recruiting training, and part of it is how to dress, right? And I still remember being told, dress for the job that you want to get. And that's kind of ingrained into me, but a lot of, you know, not everyone kind of got that specific training in college. And I also found in career, so I did management consulting and tech, where as women, sometimes we were in this odd position where you're judged if you're dressed too well, and or the other way around. So I just remember that, but there, like you said, there was no resource to kind of teach you how to dress properly, so to speak.
Absolutely, and I think you make a valid point too. Being in the management consulting space and being in tech, a number my years in the HR industry was in tech. So it was that balance, because tech is just more casual. But like you said, you couldn't go too cash, right? So it just was really, again, centering and concentrating on the woman, who she is, and bringing out her sense of style that makes sense for her lifestyle, right? That's what it is.
Sort of, you know, really bringing her authentic self into her styling. Which, you know, I'm very excited to kind of dig a little bit deeper into. So let's say I need a lot of help with personal styling, and I come to you. What's sort of that process of figuring out my style and actually, you know, going from that to
winning
the execution of the specific pieces?
I'll say this, it's certainly a journey, and it's a little bit of style therapy. Okay. I consider myself, and I'm coining it here. I've been coining myself for every month.
I love that.
Is a style therapist, because when I'm working with my clients, Sam, it's very important for me and for them that I'm working from the inside out. So even before we onboard a new client, we have I conduct and give a complimentary 1 hour, what I like to call a style intensive. And we do it via Zoom. So I get to see her and she gets to see me. And it's fantastic because it is the way for us to really unpack what her true challenges are regarding her style. Is it a body image issue? Is it a fitting issue? Is it I don't have time to shop? I'm not interested in shopping. And these are the things that I hear from my clients every single day. It could be any one of those things. It could be all of those things, right? But it really is important that we unpack what the issues are so that we can then apply logic and thought to the approach. Now, the beauty about what I do, and I've had my business now, next year will be 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I've had
Congrats.
really time. Thank you. I can't believe it's been almost a decade. But we have really perfected our signature styling experience for our clients, which is our process. And it really, it helps, helps me break down for the woman and helps her to understand what her style foundation is, right? Understanding her best colors, determining her body type, looking at various style archetypes to see what she's attracted to right now. Building that blueprint that then moves into curation. So and actually before we even curate, we also do a closet edit because it's important to really tease out the winners of the wardrobe that she already has. A lot of us do have gems that do tick the boxes, and we want to keep those, but then we also need to declutter what's not serving us, right? What haven't you worn in the past 5 years? Heck, I mean, this past weekend, I purged like 5 or 6 pairs of shoes that I've been looking at for the past 6 months, thinking I'm ready to go, part with it. And, I saw it again. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about these shoes. Let me get rid of them, right? And donate them. So going through that process with my clients in terms of their clothing, their shoes, their accessories, all of that, it really gets us to a point where we're setting a nice stage of being able to introduce pieces that will work. So really where it goes from there, Sam, is curation mode, which is shopping. And for pretty much 99% of my clients, I shop for as opposed to with. Because there are lots of efficiencies involved in that. And at the end of the day, it saves my clients time.
A lot of time.
Right? Because how many times have we gone to a store, looking for something specific, and when we get there, we can't find it, or we can't find it in our size or the right color, or you don't know what you want and you go into a store and you end up buying things that actually don't work the best for you, and they end up hanging.
Right, you regret it. It's just collecting dust.
Right.
Yeah, very familiar.
So that's how that works. But then really quickly, from after that curation process, we have a fitting appointment, and that is a really nice and intentional. It's very focused because we know again what the blueprint is for that client in terms of what works for her body, what doesn't, the colors, the draping, everything. We're getting her in a position where she gets to be a model for us, essentially. We've got our racks of clothing and she's trying on all these beautiful pieces. And we're shortlisting, this is awesome. Or, oh, this one, maybe I need to exchange it for a different size or color. Or maybe it doesn't work because, not everything's going to work for everybody off the rack. But when we down select and get to the core pieces that, again, are those winners, those are the ones that she takes home. So she doesn't have to worry about, again, traipsing through town or different stores or the mall. Everything is highly curated specifically for her. And the capstone to this is one last thing I want to mention, Sam, is the development of a custom digital lookbook. And really, this is where all the magic happens because we have pictures, really nice flat lay images of the winners from her existing wardrobe, and then everything that I curate for her, we have those digital images. So that's when I bring those two together and then style looks for her. So that if she's got this party that she got invited to at the last minute, she's not going to have a freak out moment that we've all had. What am I going to wear?
Like this morning.
Like this morning,
when I was trying to figure out, what am I going to wear to this? I was literally thinking about this morning.
Really?
Wouldn't it be nice for me to have a few looks that I know just work? So it's sort of when I can't think of what to wear, I'll just pull these.
And it's done, right?
So nice.
But that relief, that's the key to effortless style. What I'm offering my clients is effortless style. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to stress about it. They don't have to worry about it. They've got great looks that have been styled for them. And I'm telling you, Sam, every single client that I work with, she tells me from the moment even she gets home and tries on like some of the looks for, you know, her husband or going out for a work function, she's getting compliments immediately, right? There is a marked difference. So, so the lookbook is definitely helpful because she's able to dress herself in a way that is banging, right? But then also that confidence is there.
Yeah. Wow. So one thing I'm curious about is what are some of the 2 or 3 biggest challenges or problems that your clients who came to you have that you have seen?
Oh, wow. So yeah, there are a few that really do float to the top, Sam, that are consistent. And what's interesting is that these are across women that are from just so many different backgrounds, right? I would say the biggest one is body image issues. Even sometimes the most, beautiful women, and I feel like all my clients are beautiful, there's almost always something that they see that they are like hung up on that nobody else is looking at. And it may be, I'll get comments like, oh, I don't like wearing anything sleeveless because I don't like the way my arm looks right here, right? And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with your arm, right? I wish you could see what I see. And when we take them through the journey, they eventually see it. But they come in with these, issues centered again on their body shape, weight. I can't tell you how many times I have had women tell me, Roxanne, I would love to work with you, but I want to lose 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 50, whatever. And I'm just like, you can look great at whatever weight. You just need to learn how to dress for your body as it is today. And what you're doing is just delaying, and adding years onto unhappiness.
Yeah.
Because you're putting a condition on yourself. You do not have to be a certain size to look beautiful or feel beautiful. So that's the number one. Another one that comes up a lot is money. So, and when I say money, what that really means is that they're equating their value, Sam, to a specific dollar amount. So there's some women that genuinely, don't know what an investment would be like to work with the stylist. And, for depending on someone's budget, it could be super expensive. It could be just right. But when we often talk about money for the services or perhaps how much they should invest in their wardrobe, they automatically are just like, I have had some women say, oh, I would never spend that much money on clothes, right? But when we peel the onion, and this dovetails into the third issue that I have that I speak with women about a lot in terms of why they get in their own way, a lot of it is upbringing. So they maybe grew up in environments where, and I've had so many conversations about this, where their parents or their mother was extremely frugal. So even to this day, I had a client earlier this year that we were dressing her for a family reunion, and she does extremely well. She's an executive. And she was just like, well, I want to have nice things, but I don't want to look too much, because I don't want to hear it from my mom at the family reunion.
Oh, God.
So she's like kind of like dumbing down her look, so to speak, to and it's just like, even then she's negotiating. And I can understand that, like, you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but she doesn't have anything that's ostentatious.
Right.
Right. But the limitations, and it's funny because I had a YouTube live on this a few weeks ago on the impact that mothers can have on our psyche when it comes to our body and our image. And, gosh, no, I will never spend $150 or $200 on a pair of jeans, which for some people is a lot. But I always ask them, well, how much are you worth? I'm not saying you have to buy $200 pair of jeans, but it's just like they just are at a point where they can't even fathom it.
Yeah.
But then, when we do have a conversation about how much they're worth, you really can't put a price tag on that, right?
Yeah. And I think also for the right investment piece, I always think about it from a dollar per wear perspective.
But that's exactly right, Sam. Right. If I pay a little bit more for this premium item of clothing, it's going to last me with great care, of course. It's going to last me for years, right? And it's a classic piece. It's always going to look amazing.
Yeah.
Instead of buying, the clothes that are made from, poorer quality textiles, fabrics, notions, things like that fall apart after 2 washes.
Yep.
You end up spending so much more money replacing that on the regular and keeping the retailers happy, that, inch it up a little bit. Again, I want ladies to want more for themselves. And sometimes that means spending a little bit more than you maybe normally would. But I'm telling you, once you get to that point where you start building these select, highly, again, curated pieces, you will see a huge difference and your wardrobe leveling up.
Yeah. And this is very kind of dear to my heart, as you know, because when we were working on Ally shoes at the beginning, I think I saw stats saying something like 70% of the shoes were only worn once or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's a stark, it's a very unbelievable number. And we want to create something that women want to wear every day.
Right.
I think it's just so important to have, like you said, investment pieces that you like to gravitate towards, every chance you get. And that's kind of how you should think about value as opposed to just, the price tags.
Exactly. And I'll just add this. I always use this analogy when I talk to some of my ladies. If you need a tax accountant or an attorney, are you going to go for the bargain attorney that just, opened his shop, 2 weeks ago? No, you're going to invest in an attorney that's going to help you with what you need. You are investing in the value that person is offering you.
Yeah.
So think about that with your wardrobe. Think about that with people that you choose to partner with. How much you're going to get out of it as opposed to how much does it cost today.
Yeah. And then to your other point, I think, with body image, with kind of family perception, I think there's this common theme of almost women being afraid to show our authentic self through styles sometimes, maybe because of media influence telling us that, you have to look a certain way. If not, then you don't deserve this and this. And, similarly, I'm sure there are voices from family, from kind of childhood that's still in our head right now that kind of prevents us from being our full self. And I think so much of what you do is to really encourage your clients to kind of embrace that authenticity.
Who they are. Yeah. And the best part about it, Sam, is that once it happens, they like never look back.
Oh, I love that.
It's really and that's that transformation. That's why I do what I do.
Amazing. So this is compliment from an ex-consultant. I feel like this whole process that you just described reminded me of how we do consulting projects for Fortune 500 companies. And what I mean by that is you kind of, number one, you start out with a high level goal and blueprint of what this client actually needs out of the styling service. And then number two, while doing the wardrobe edit, you're kind of getting a sense of the current baseline, right? Like what are we
Exactly.
working with right now, to really figuring out where can we kind of change
Right.
or add or maybe delete.
Yeah.
And then you also make it a very kind of turnkey, seamless process for the client. So the lookbook, the try-on process, it's so efficient, that, you know, kind of give them peace of mind, but it works. So
And that's
this is amazing.
It works, and it's great because throughout this entire experience, and it truly is an experience for the client, because again, it's a journey. She's got someone that's got her back. You know, if we try something on in our fitting appointment that looks crazy for whatever reason, I'm going to tell her, but I'm going to tell her why. Because when you know better, you do better. I want my clients to be more discerning. I want them to be in a position that they are not having a freak out moment or not going to buy the wrong thing ever again.
Right.
So that's super, super important. Knowledge is power. But it's her going through this journey and knowing that she's got somebody that can count on.
Yeah.
She can count on.
Wow. Yeah, this is so great.
Thank you.
So one of the things that I personally struggle with, and I'm sure a lot of your clients struggle with as well, in our wardrobe, it's always opening up the wardrobe. We think, I have a full closet, so I really shouldn't buy anything more, but for some reason I have nothing to wear. Is that common? Why is that occurring?
Boys that comment, I think that's the baseline for like
most people.
For most women, right?
Why
You got
is
this
that?
closet full of clothes and nothing to wear. And I think is what's happened is that you end up purchasing pieces to fill a short-term need. You know, you end up buying something because you got an invite and you don't really even want to delve into your wardrobe and start thinking from scratch, like, what do I have? I'm disappointed with what I have. You really just kind of, you know, you're acting in an impromptu way, and that's what leads to mistakes. So you end up accumulating those mistakes over months, over years, right?
Yep.
And then also, if you maybe move house and you put clothes in storage, or you have a second bedroom, you're using like another closet, out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yep.
You're not seeing it with it, you're not interacting with it, so you forget about it, and then you go and buy more things to replace it.
Right.
That's how you end up with a closet full of clothes with nothing to wear.
Yeah, gotta fix that.
Got to fix that. And then, but really that blueprint that I was explaining to you before, the foundation, that helps us apply logic to strip out those pieces. And it really does change how you interact with your wardrobe, the framework that you use for making decisions. And it just makes you more discerning, and it teaches clients how to say no to things, right?
Yeah.
And it removes that emotion from it, because you're really looking at it from an objective standpoint. Is this top something I'm going to wear, you know, a few times? Can I style it in different ways? Is the quality good enough for me and for where I want to be? And if the answer is no, that's a good thing, because there's something else out there that's better for you. You have to want more, but better for yourself. But you can really only do that if you kind of have a more narrow focus area, instead of just buying.
Yeah.
Just ending up with all these clothes that you're not wearing.
Yeah, and it's bad for the environment as well. So I think mindful shopping, and I'm glad there has been a movement around, you know, having a capsule wardrobe and really buying things that's versatile.
Right.
So if you only have, let's say, 5 items in your capsule wardrobe, what are these key items that everyone should have?
Yeah, so I always would say definitely start with a dark wash jean. And depending on your body type, you could do a skinny jean, and I still love my skinny jeans, so I wear them. But skinny jean, you know, whatever silhouette you prefer, but a dark wash is a must-have, because it is something you can dress up or down. If you're wearing like a light or medium wash, that's always going to look casual no matter what you do. But the dark wash is definitely something you should have. I think also, we were talking a little bit before, you know, our session here about blazers. Having a couple like really fantastic blazers that you love, you can also dress up and down, right? You could put it over a fantastic silk blouse, or you could put it over a graphic t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
You can style it in different ways, but it's comfortable. And I think for where we are, you know, coming out of the, you know, the pandemic and all, people want just pieces that are going to be just more versatile and easy for them. So that comes to mind. Everyone should have a beautifully fitting dress. That you can transfer and take from like day to night. I like to say from 5 to arrive.
You should coin that too.
Yeah, you know, just switch out the shoes, you know, go from your black Ally shoes during the day to your red Croc embossed ones, right, at night with great clutch. That's a must have. And if I had to think of 2 others, I mentioned a silk blouse when I was talking about the blazer, but having a beautiful silk blouse, I mean, it's natural, the fiber, it breathes, you're never going to overheat in it, and it's something you can wear all year round, and it just looks so luxe. And then the 5th item will definitely be a pair of Ally shoes.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Otherwise, yeah.
You could, but because you can't wear an outfit without shoes, right? So you have to get like the best pumps.
Well, thanks for that shout out.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but you know, we're obviously not biased.
Yeah. So again, as a personal stylist, I get so much joy of really introducing my clients to fantastic brands that really do align with their lifestyle. And, you know, Ally Shoes is at the top of the list because we all need fantastic shoes to take us from wherever we need to go from morning till, you know, well into the evening. So I want to just ask you, Sam, for you know, my audience that's watching this as well. I mean, I rave about Ally all the time, but I think it's really great, would be great for you to share what makes your, you know, your products just so different and so desirable.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I think one of the things with Ally, the backstory is, I actually didn't come from fashion. You know, I came from the business world, but I was a very heavy, still am a heavy heel user, and so have a lot of horror stories of heel pain. But I think for a long time, I just thought, you know, that's just the way it is. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
But I had a pretty bad foot injury from hiking, and after that, I just could not stand any pain anymore, and that kind of triggered me into finding solutions out there. And I tried really every brand out there. I tried bespoke shoemaking, I tried orthotics and everything, and it's really hard for me to find an existing solution that makes shoes that are both comfortable and also look great at the same time. And I think as women, we deserve to have both. Why compromise, right?
Exactly.
And so I was fortunate enough to have found my team, 2 other women. Dr. Roxanne Clark is
another Roxanne.
My Roxanne. She is a practicing foot ankle surgeon here in New York, who also loves fashion and has fabulous style.
I bet.
So she really put in her knowledge of podiatry into the design of the internal part of our shoe.
Which is the best part.
Which is amazing.
Oh,
and we have a utility patent on this.
I love
So
it.
part of it is she really helped solve weight distribution problem in heels, which is not something that a lot of brands look at. You know, when you think about comfort brands, you think about, cushioning and you know, softness, which feels great for the first 10 minutes, but it doesn't solve the fundamental problem that we're putting most of our body weight at the ball of our feet.
On here,
Which is why after walking for a little bit, this part usually hurts. So Roxanne really put in strategic cushioning in key pressure points. So we have what we call a 3-point support under the toe, arch support and then a deep heel cup. So essentially we're pulling your weight back, so you're resting more of your weight in
More
the arch and it's
center.
more centered.
Right.
So that's a great innovation that we put in there.
Yeah.
And the good part with that is it doesn't make the shoe clunky,
Yeah.
because we're really only putting support where support is needed. And we also used a stretchy lambskin material, so it's specially treated to have more give and more flexibility. And our designer, Sarah Jaramillo, she is a very accomplished sneaker designer who also happened to have done high fashion design.
Nice.
So she put in some structure that's hidden, but it's used in sneaker making.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all hidden.
I love
but
it.
that's also part of our patent, where we're able to kind of use this flexible material, but the shoes on the outside still looks very structured and sleek and stylish.
Yeah.
And then the third part is inclusive sizing. So that's something we really discovered as we start testing our prototype.
Right.
We did a few of those women gathering events, and we keep hearing from people, we need wide shoes, I need narrow shoes, I need half sizes, I need size 4, I need size 12. And that's another gap in the market, which is for women with, bunions or,
plantar
with
fasciitis and
right,
yeah.
or they just have, size 10 plus feet. They cannot find shoes.
They can't find cute shoes.
And so what happens is they either wear something that's too big if they have small feet, or they cram their feet into shoes that's too small. And so for us, that's why we focus on classic timeless style as well, so we can really diversify on sizes and focus on having more inclusive offerings there. So
love that.
These are a few of the reasons.
This is why I love Sam and love Ally, because there's so much thought that went into the design of the shoe, but it all started with the women.
Right. It's our personal problem we're trying to solve.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I appreciate, I know you're interviewing me, but I appreciate you answering that for
asking that.
my audience too.
So one thing that you mentioned earlier is, this transition, or this elephant in the room of the pandemic that have haunted us for the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
What are some of the trends that you have seen maybe during the pandemic and now that we're coming out of it?
Okay.
So I think I've heard two schools of thoughts. One, obviously people were saying that, companies are going more casual. We're looking at remote hybrid work. So we don't really need to dress up anymore. We just need to maybe, dress top half up for Zoom meetings.
The Zoom outfit, right?
Right. But another school of thought is, this is truly like the 1920s, where people really want to celebrate and style it up and maybe zhuzh it up even more. So what are you seeing?
So I'm seeing a little bit of both, Sam. So in the professional world, gosh, coming out of the pandemic are a lot of more relaxed silhouettes. So we were talking about having a blazer in your, as part of your wardrobe staple. Blazers is kind of taking it back to 80s. Blazers have become oversized, right? They become the blazer that you drape over your shoulder to wear over that silk blouse, as opposed to maybe wearing it all together and being so structured. So we're seeing that. We're seeing wider silhouettes with pants, waistbands that are elastic, comfort wear, but it can still look professional, but it's like they call it power casual. It's so you've got that balance where you still look really put together, but you're not in a suit. It's very rare that I buy a full suit for clients, and this is even prior to the pandemic. So in the work life, we're definitely seeing that transition to be a little bit more casual, especially with the hybrid, going in the office some days, working from home, but then zhuzhing it up. I'm seeing that so much more on the personal side. So
interesting.
Date nights, parties, now that we're all getting together again, travel, packing those awesome dresses. My clients, they want more. They want like excess. They want the color. They want the, you know, the brilliance of
maximism.
the maximism.
Right.
Yeah. They want, because they're just like, I want to show my personality. I'm just tired of being like super structured all the time.
Yeah.
So they're able to do that in their own personal space with their friends and family. So I'm seeing it both, but it's more based on what you're doing during the day versus like the nights and weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why we are seeing a lot of people going for the more bold colors. You know,
Yes.
obviously our classic black, our shades of nude are still the most popular,
Yeah.
but we are seeing people going with the red, for
Bright
example.
red or the yellows.
The yellow.
That you released. Yeah.
And then even the shinier, sparkling ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think to your point, it is people really want to, you know, get louder in their personal life and just, you know,
And not hold
celebrate
back.
more. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's
a good
That's a
thing.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really neat in the work that I do. You know, getting to interact with fantastic brands like yours, where I get to what brings me joy as a personal stylist is being able again to help women unleash who they really are and where they want to be, and introduce fantastic brands that they've never heard of, right? Or interacted with. That's the value, you know, because I've got my eyes on a swivel. I'm looking all the time.
Right.
And when we strike gold, it's like, oh, I want to introduce you to Ally shoes or, you know, other brands that, you know, are equally as fantastic in terms of, you know, ready to wear, for example. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So, last question that we always are obligated to ask is who is your ally and why?
So my ally is actually my husband, Michael.
Aw.
Yes, he has been, gosh, just such a staunch supporter of my dream to help as many women as possible. You know, realize again who they are through their wardrobe. And, you know, years and years ago when I first had the idea, you know, admittedly, he told me this, and he didn't tell me this then, because he's always trying to pop me up, but he was just like, yeah, I don't really know people, you know, because when you think about stylists, you think about celebrities, right? He was like, I don't really know when I think about it that women want to engage, but he, you know, supported me. He would take me around to network events and, you know, saw my business grow. And really through that, he's helped me so much on the back end. I always call him, he's my shipping and receiving manager for all those darn boxes that come to the studio.
Same.
Every day you're the same, right? But he's also my CFO. He also helps me with, you know, the long-term strategy and planning for the business. And wherever I go, he goes, and he's just my biggest cheerleader. We keep each other very much motivated.
Yeah.
But I have to say that he's my biggest ally. And I tell him this all the time, like, I don't think I would have been able to grow my business and, you know, step away from the corporate life, you know, all those years ago to be able to do this every day full time. It's a dream. So yeah, Michael is my biggest ally.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have a supportive SO that, you know, will challenge you, help you, support you, and kind of help you keep you motivated as well.
Yeah.
'Cause entrepreneurship
It's
is hard.
hard.
It's so hard. It gets so lonely. So I think it's such an understated value that we should all kind of treasure when we have that person.
Yeah. And it makes all the difference in the world. It does.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I've learned a lot. I think, you know, I need to look at my wardrobe and
With intention.
with
right?
intention, with
Yes.
logic, blueprint, and really, you know, strategically think about how I want to use styling to transform parts of my life. And I think that's a big learning for me today.
Yeah.
And I hope more women can, you know, seek out help, especially to you or, you know, whoever they want to seek out to locally as well. But you're really democratizing styling for women.
I love that.
And I think it's just very important work.
It is very, very important. And for those of you that, may be interested in learning more, again, I do offer that 1 hour complimentary style intensive. And the beauty of what I do is that geography is not a limitation. I do travel around the country to clients. I do have also clients, even prior to, the pandemic, that I work with on a virtual basis. So I just think, again, it's so important to be able to put yourself first in this aspect. And I'll close by saying this quote I love sharing by Edith Head, former costume designer. She's since passed years ago in Hollywood, but she says that you can get anything in life if you dress for it. And I think that's so true. So
that's wisdom right there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
This was so much fun.
Lots of fun. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.